machine moving so quickly across the ground that it outpaces an aircraft flying directly above it. Hitting 300 miles per hour is an entirely different branch of physics compared to normal highway speeds. At 490 kilometers per hour, the environment actively tries to tear the vehicle apart. The air resistance at that velocity stops acting like a strong wind. It compresses. It behaves like a solid, invisible wall. This table breaks down the 300 mile per hour barrier. Bugatti, SSC, and Koenigsegg side by side. Notice the gap between their claimed numbers and speeds actually verified on the tarmac. Optimizers may care about theoretical peaks, but realists demand verifiable proof in the real world. Conquering this wall requires a brutal engineering compromise. You cannot build a car that hits 300 miles per hour, corner well on a track, and behaves comfortably on a Sunday drive. You have to pick one. Bugatti approached the barrier through scaled-up brute force engineering. They loaded an 8.0-liter quad-turbo W16 engine into the Chiron, producing nearly 1,600 horsepower. Then they leveraged massive corporate backing to secure a dedicated 5-mile test facility in Germany. The result was a verified, record-shattering 304.7 miles per hour. They put veteran race car driver Andy Wallace behind the wheel to prove the car could physically survive the run on actual tarmac, establishing credibility for the speed. But the trade-off is severe. That colossal engine generates immense weight and intense thermal load, impacting the car's standard driving dynamics. Bugatti proved the speed is possible, but they achieved it using a modified prototype. The production models sold to consumers have limiters installed to keep them from reaching those same velocities. Next, we have the SSC Tuatara. They were the independent challenger, built specifically to attempt a record on a public highway. They released a video claiming a top speed of 331 miles per hour. This chart plots their claimed speed against distance over time. Independent engineers crowdsourced an analysis of the run and proved a discrepancy. The telemetry from the video did not match the physical distance the car actually covered. SSC was forced to run a retest. The final, verified speed was 282.9 miles per hour. That is a high speed for any production car, but releasing unverified marketing claims damaged the brand's standing with the engineering community. SSC showed that an independent team can achieve incredible speeds, but without airtight scientific methodology, the technical achievement is easily overshadowed by the controversy. Finally, there is the Koenigsegg Jesko Absolut, a vehicle engineered through mathematical optimization. Christian von Koenigsegg directed his team to rethink how a car moves through the air. They stripped away the rear wings and downforce elements, creating a profile with a near-zero drag coefficient. Their simulator data reveals a theoretical top speed of over 330 miles per hour. On paper, it leads the category. This flowchart illustrates their aerodynamic trade-off. By removing drag to increase absolute straight-line velocity, the car sacrifices the downforce required to maintain grip in corners. But remember the caveat. That 330 mile per hour figure is entirely theoretical. The Jesko Absolut represents the current edge of aerodynamic modeling. Right now, though, it remains a ghost, simply waiting for a physical track capable of proving the math. Regardless of the engineering philosophy, all three manufacturers face the same physical bottleneck, a 3,000-pound piece of metal resting on 4 small patches of rubber. At 280 miles per hour, extreme centrifugal forces take over. The tire rubber physically expands, warps, and nears immediate delamination. Look at this graph mapping speed against air resistance. As the vehicle crosses 250 miles per hour, the resistance curve climbs nearly vertical. At the top of this curve, an engine must double its horsepower just to squeeze out a few extra miles per hour. And practically speaking, there are virtually no physical roads on Earth perfectly smooth enough or long enough to sustain these forces. The war for 300 miles per hour is no longer limited by what an engine can do. It is bottlenecked by tire chemistry and global infrastructure. Let's map these on an engineering quadrant. Vertical is verified to theoretical. Horizontal is holistic to straight line. Bugatti sits in verified reality, proven brute force. Koenigsegg occupies the theoretical edge, absolute mathematical potential. SSC ranks lower, based on real-world numbers. If you base your decisions purely on the spec sheet and simulator potential, Koenigsegg is the victor. If you are an engineering realist, Bugatti provides the only definitive answer. They spent the capital required to prove their claims on a closed track. For the automotive pragmatist, the sacrifices required to reach 300 miles per hour limit a car's versatility. Conquering air resistance and extreme tire heat necessitates massive trade-offs in handling and engine cooling, factors that are increasingly leading manufacturers to prioritize usable acceleration and cornering over top speed.